Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. Today I have a bunch of chores to do and I'm hoping that you'd be able to do them with me. And I am going to be preparing now, December, for my spring garden for next year, 2025. I have this idea. I want to create a vertical garden in Eden, my outside garden, but I don't want to buy any plants for it. So what I'm going to do, I have so many plants. You guys know I have a ton of plants. And so I went out this morning and I took a bunch of cuttings of plants that were completely overgrown, growing off of poles. And like I took this cutting of this Splendid, it was growing off. There were a few leaves, I think 4 leaves above the top of the stake that it was on. And so what I did was I cut it and I said I would just create a couple more plants. And so I decided I was going to cut it and create a couple more plants for my vertical garden because I think that would be absolutely gorgeous out there. And I would definitely be able to give it that space to grow up. And then on top of that, I have this container. I believe I shared this with you in the beginning when I put this terrarium kind of set up together. And I am going to be taking these plants out of here. This is what this is looking like right now. They are all growing very, very well. I have a host of different products in here, from alocasia to philodendron, epipremnum. I have this epipremnum that I killed. I had it twice and I brought it down to 1 leaf with the last one that I have. This is the variegated one. I brought it down to 1 leaf. The thing was completely dying. I put it in here and now I have a vine in here that I am going to pot up. And then I have Syndapsis in here. I'm just seeing a little bit of everything because pretty much if something was having troubles, I was just putting them in here. But I do find that with these types of prop boxes, if I let them stay too long, the leaves start to melt away. And I don't want that to happen because I really want these to be in ground in my garden for the springtime. It's just a vision that I have where I want to plant up a bunch of house plants in ground and let them grow that way. And so I won't be sad if it's not one of my plants that I have in here that I put in ground and something happens to it. I want it to be something that I'm just starting off with and I'm not necessarily attached to. Okay, so I am going to be potting these into individual cups and then I'm going to put them into a separate container. They are still going to be growing in a container because I don't want to have to take so much care of these. Like in here, I don't have to do anything to this plant. Every once in a while, I open it up, sprinkle a little bit of water on it, check everything, make sure there are no pests in here. There are I can't remember the name of the bugs that are in here, but they are the fast moving white bugs that eat anything rotting in the soil. They are in here. And originally I thought there was something else living in here because I was seeing lines, like walking lines on the sides in the condensation. And I said, oh, there's something living in there, but I wasn't seeing any damage on my plants. And I don't go according to what I can see when it comes to bugs. I go according to the signs of what's going on. And I wasn't seeing any signs on the plants that there was anything wrong. But then when I looked in the soil, I could definitely see that there were the little white bugs that I know some people buy for their terrariums. So, of course, having them for free is wonderful. Okay, so I am going to start potting these up. I think I am going to take a number of my greenhouse cuttings and put them into this container here because most of these will be coming out. They've been in here for months now, so most of these will be coming out. It is nap time. All of my children are out. If you can just imagine, I can't believe I'm at home without my humans. But then my fur babies are all taking naps. My 2 dogs are right here and the kittens are upstairs on my plant shelf taking a nap, but I can't cross that right now. So I am going to start off by emptying this bin so that I can fill it with the larger cuttings. I know I won't be able to fit all of them in there, but I have a couple of bins down here. I have this one, and then I have this great big one that I think I may use. I just don't want to fill it with substrate. And for substrate for the plants that I will be potting up, I will be using this mixture here. And this is pretty much what I have been using for about all of my plants inside. But when I put them outside, I will be putting them in soil. So this is just cocoa core and chunky perlite. This is what it looks like. I love this because I can be my overwatering self and I don't have a problem. And the top of this is so dirty because I've been potting on it. And then in the event that I need some moss, I have a little bit of moss here. Let me get my scoopy out. Okay. And for my cups, I'm going to be using these right here. And I am not going to put holes at the bottom, I don't think. Should I? No, I will not put holes at the bottom. If I have to, I will. I'll just pop it in the end. So we'll just get started. I left my gloves out in the greenhouse, so I'm not going to have gloves on. I'll regret it. I'm sure I will regret it. Okay, let me put this over here. I'll just grab whatever hits me first. Okay, I think this one is the one that I'm looking at first. The hard thing about having these bins as well is that the roots get intertwined, and that's not fun. It's so easy to break the roots off. As I'm doing this, I'm trying to think about all of the different plants that I was putting in here. A few of them didn't make it. Like the begonia, I took a little too long to take it out, and so it melted. Okay, that didn't do very well, but this part is good. Is that rotted? I think that's rotting. Yes, this is rotting. Okay, I didn't bring a garbage. I'll use one of these cups. Oh, it's okay. It really isn't. This is a philodendron something. I'm not even sure anymore. Okay, but I'm just going to pot this up and put it into the propagation box separated. That was too much humidity for it, obviously. That makes me sad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the shallow bin that I have, and I'm going to put it over here with the plants that I've potted up. And I'm just going to cover, there were about 4 nodes underneath there that I covered up. What type of philodendron is this? I remember this was something that was given to me when I did a trade. She included this. I can't remember that. It's not the, what is that? Can't remember. And it was so big. I feel so sadly. I feel so sad because this was actually really big. Okay, so that's one down. Next, which piece of goodness will come out of here? I'm trying to detangle this one right here because I see that it's intertwined with quite a few things in here. Yeah, okay. I guess this is the way this is going to happen. Oh, I see a snapped leaf. Growl. Okay, Okay, so we'll pot up this one. We're just going to take them as they come. Oh, this is part of my shingling plant that never took to the board, and it kept falling off, and I put it in here. I think I'm going to actually put that into a separate terrarium. Okay. So we're going to pot this one up. And with alocasia, I try not to pot them too deep into the substrate, because the bottom of the roots, the bottom of the stems will just rot. They'll be beautiful, and then you'll look and there will be nothing at the bottom. So there you have that. And this is a pink, it's either a pink dragon or a pink princess, the Morocco, I believe. Okay, so we have this coming up, and this translucent stem right here is snapped. And this is another, I don't know what that is. I don't know what this is. I thought it was a dragon, but I don't think it's a pink dragon, because the stems are completely greeny white. So I'm not really sure what this is. Some of these things were plants that kind of tanked, and I just kept, and I just put them in the box, so that I cut the leaves off and just put them in the box, or the leaves died off and I put them in the box. But this is what this one looks like. And again, I want to plant these in ground. I think that's going to be so beautiful. I've found this new channel that I have been watching, and the woman is in Malaysia, and wow, she has an amazing channel. This is another piece to this plant that rotted. Let me cut this bottom piece off. And I'm just going to spray the shears a little bit. And there was this piece right here that has rot, but there is some of it that is good. But I have been watching, and she has been sharing different gardens where she lives, where, of course, beautiful weather year round. So the opportunity to grow in extremely beautiful gardens is definitely there. And she has been sharing gardens that have been, they're just so beautiful. Please let me know if you've been watching any of those garden channels. And I've also been watching Julia from Accessorize Your Life. She has just been sharing her fall garden and what's keeping its color. I've just been enjoying that. I do miss being out in Eden during the colder months. This is another one. These have to be the pink dragons, or maybe they're these have to be the pink dragons. Maybe they just don't have their color yet, but these have to be pink dragons. I can't think of anything else that would have so many corms other than pink dragons. The pink dragon tends to corm out really, really quickly and generously. This one has a new leaf opening up. That's buried a little too deep. Look at that. Okay. Wow, this is going by so quickly. I'm so happy about that. But anyway, I have been watching her channel for the gardens and the ideas that they have, and they talk about how they set things up to create the perfect landscape. And she has been sharing some rules of gardening or design so that things are physically pleasing to the eye. And one of the things she talks about is putting things in threes and making sure that you use the focal point shouldn't necessarily be in the center. It should be a little bit off to the left, and or off to the side, not to the left, but off to the side. And I've just learned so much. I really have. So this is the epipremnum. And again, I have failed miserably with this plant. And something tells me that these plants are always potted up just the way I'm doing it right now, where they get potted in a spiral in the soil because they don't do very well. And so they just kind of get rooted out this way and then they just spiral it into the soil, but that does not work. Each plant that I purchased came just that way. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the very same plant that Jackie from Latina Plants has that she was having troubles with. She had to repot it. And again, it was spiraled into the soil. But I'm not going to do that because that's exactly what the problem was for me. I felt as if maybe that spiraling actually made it so that the plant just all at one time just went down. That one didn't have a leaf on it, so, but I'm just cutting the nodes and popping them in here. I don't think I've ever had such trouble with Apothos epipremnum as I have with this plant, which I still can't believe I have this right now. Because full disclosure, this thing was, I mean, it was just gone. And I just chopped up that one little section and there was one leaf on it that looked like it would survive. And I just popped it into this little container and that's why I still have it. And that was midsummer, I believe. I don't know what it is. I think the humidity for this is different than the average pothos. Like this one just doesn't, because as you can see, it grew so very nicely. Look at these gorgeous leaves. Why are you looking like that? It has a little bit of dirt on it. I love this. And I think this would be gorgeous if it were to get some of the variegation back and be on my plant wall. Gorgeous. Yes, darling. Yes. This is so much fun. What took me so long to do this? Once again, why torture yourself and then enjoy the process? Why do it? Now, this right here is a Monstera, not sure of the variety. This does need high humidity, so I don't even know that I'm taking this out of here because I am not familiar with this plant, and so I don't want to lose it. I bought the nodes on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, this right here. I think this right here is completely gone. Is there a node under there? Maybe. There may be a node in here. So I will put this. This is that same plant that rotted. Another piece. I'll just pop it in with the other one. Oh, this is like a treasure hunt. Look at this. What is this? I have no idea what this is. Is it the same plant? Don't know. I don't know. I'm running a little bit low on my cocoa core, on my cocoa chips, not cocoa core. I'm running low on my cocoa chips. And I really, really like using these. My Monstera love this because I don't overwater them. So we have a doctor's appointment for the kittens coming up. Saturday we'll get the confirmation. We have to, they're at the age where they have to be taken care of so that they're not reproducing. And there is a program in the city where I live where they try to keep the cat population actually became extreme. and people were doing the wrong thing with kittens, a very wrong thing. And so they had to, the city stepped in. Well, it's not the city. It is not the city. It is a nonprofit organization. It's not the city. And I am going to work with them. And I'm excited, but then at the same time, I don't know how much I'm going to love the change in the personalities. I love my kittens. They are so sweet. They'll still be sweet, and I'll still love them. Now, for my garden, something that I definitely want to make sure I have plenty of is spider plants. And I don't plan on chopping up my spider plants that I have. So what I'm thinking to do is buy one spider plant with a lot of babies and start propagating the babies. But I'm not going to bust up the ones that I have right now because I love my plants. Oh my goodness. And Natalie from Australia, she was the one who shared with me that she put 3 baby spider plants into a hanging cage and let it grow in there. And I want that for my garden for this year. I definitely want that. I did it in my front yard. I think it was last summer. I did that in my front yard and it was so beautiful. I loved it. Okay, here is another one of the mystery corms. Now, do you consider this a plant or a sprouted corm? I think this is a sprouted corm. I don't think this is a plant because this is not a strong, this is such a baby. To me, this is just, even though it has multiple leaves, I think this is just a baby. This is a sprouted corm. So sometimes, like when I do trades on Facebook, the people will say, well, I didn't know you were going to give me a plant. This isn't, to me, this is not a plant. That's a corm that sprouted. And so you feel comfortable saying, okay, I can trade with you with this. And it's not a dud. Because of course, not every corm sprouts. Okay. And here's another mystery plant. Okay. And I order my cocoa chunks on the internet, on Amazon. I order my perlite on Amazon. And these are the chunky pieces, but when I am potting up with regular, when I just use perlite, I use perlite, the large chunks and the small chunks. That's what seems to work for me. Okay. Here's another vine. And I want to keep as much of this in here as possible. What's inside of my terrarium like box is, it's still the cocoa, a little bit of soil, and there is also moss in here, which I'm no longer buying moss because number one, it's very expensive. And I understand why it's expensive as much as I prefer perlite. So I think I'll just stick to it. I just feel that it's a lot easier to recover when I propagate in perlite. So that's what I'll be sticking to. Do I have more? This is the berry silver, but I know there's more of this in here. Oh, it's there. Oh, look, I just broke off this gorgeous leaf. See, I left that in there too long. The stems will just break right off because they're just melting. So I had to take a phone call, so I had to stop for a little while, but I stopped recording, but I didn't stop potting because I don't know when those kittens are going to wake up. I can't believe my boys back here are still sleeping. So I just had another spider plant. I'm not going to pot it with the other one. I'm going to leave it separate. They grow so quickly. And here is a tuberosa. Oh, I feel like I'm breaking off all of her roots. Maybe not. Do you guys have any new channels that you're watching? I've really been into outside gardening channels and growing produce. Oh, okay. You know, I'm always doing something. I definitely want to do a tea garden for this year. I want to grow tea leaves and dry them. My air fryer also has a function where it will just dehydrate. And I think I want to grow. I love mint tea. I love all of those things. And then I also want to dry my herbs for cooking. I definitely want to do basil and cilantro, sage, and all of those things. Mint, pepper, spearmint, and peppermint. I want to do both of them. Isn't she cute? She's distracting me. Oh, I knocked something over. Okay. I still can't believe how many of these mystery corms are in here. I did try growing produce once upon a time, vegetables and fruits. The peppers I was able to grow, but the squirrels really just ate everything. So I just didn't try after that because it was a lot of work, and they loved the work that I put into it. My organic garden. The other new channel I have been watching is a channel called Our Freedom Song, and she is it's a homeschooling family. It's the mom who does most of the work, but her husband is there helping her. Like he built the greenhouse for her in a shed and all kinds of things. And they're just there working with their family, and they are growing just about everything. She even grew loofah from seed. And I thought that was amazing. I'll put those channels down below just in case you're interested in watching them. The videos are nice and long. So like sometimes if I am potting up like this, or if I am cleaning my house, if I'm not listening to music, sometimes I will just put those on just to see what they're doing. Okay, I have this little tiny tuberosa I don't want to separate from the roots. Oh, the biggest cat just walked past my patio doors. Oh, that's a big cat. At first I thought maybe Marshy was out there rolling in the dirt because it's like a gray cat. But nope. I definitely look forward to planting the tuberosa in ground. I'm so excited. We're barely out of this growing season. I'm already prepping for the next. But in the time that I've been watching the channels where the people are growing, I noticed that they start everything very early in the year. I don't want to have to buy so many things for my garden this year. I have far too many plants to have to go and buy more plants. When these things, you propagate them and it just makes the mama plant so happy, and the babies are just free plants. Okay, this is where it's getting tangly. Okay. Okay, now with the cocoa chips in it, this soil, the sphagnum moss is just coming right off. I think I'm going to have to resupply my cups again. I've already gone over and got more cups. I got more already. They're so cute. Okay, look at this. They're all intertwined. Oh, you know what this is? This is a gloriosum. I'm looking at, I'm trying to figure out which plant this is. This is a gloriosum over here. And gloriosum normally have really good roots. And this one is definitely got the memo because it's a little tiny thing, but it has great roots. Oh, maybe this is it's all moss. The roots are still good. Look at that. Oh, gloriosum. So cute. Now, I will definitely have to be on top of getting my planters from the Dollar Tree when they come out. I kind of want to do terracotta planters, but I need some long planters because like this right here would be best to be grown in a small planter, a long planter, because it is a vertical grower. I'm running out of space, but the large one that I'm going to put these plants into, it is it's a lot wider, so it'll be fine. Now that one had a big hole at the bottom, but that's far too much plastic for me to just toss out. It does not have a top, so I'm going to put saran wrap on the top for now. It's just too much plastic to just throw away. It's just too much plastic. I was in my greenhouse the other day doing some chores and, oh, I have to get more cups. I was doing chores and just as I was done, I heard a big crash. I knocked over a terracotta pot and it crashed to the floor. Because I have stone pavers in the greenhouse, it just shattered. But because it is a stone paver, not a stone paver, because it is the terracotta pot, all I have to do is chop it up. That's what I saw Mr. Robert A. Keyboards here on YouTube. He has beautiful music that he plays. My husband and my sons love his music. Oh my goodness. They love it. This right here, I just broke this leaf off. I just broke that leaf off. That was not broken. Okay, but I'll still pot up. Oh, that's done. That's rotted. And here's another rotted one. Okie dokie. So this is the one that is the Monstera dubia, not dubia, the Monstera, what is the one with the, I can't remember. This is the Monstera obliqua that I was telling you about that needs high humidity. When I purchased the nodes on Facebook Marketplace, she just told me I have to keep it in high humidity in order for it to grow. And it's growing in here, but it's not, I don't think it's doing the best. But anyway, I'm learning. What I'm going to do with this, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to take it out of here. I mean, this is how it's looking. Maybe what I can do is just chop it up into individual nodes, because this was just a couple of nodes. So here's one and here's the other one. This was just a couple of nodes. And this is how it has grown since the summertime. Oh, and here is another. alocasia. Another mystery alocasia. There are mystery alocasias growing in almost every plant that I have. Okay, so for these right here, what do? Do I just keep it in here? But if I keep it in here, that would mean it would be in here for life because it's not going to really do anything. I think I'm going to chop up the nodes. I think so. Chop up the nodes, and then I'll be able to, because I think she told me it's best if I put this on some type of a support. So if I put it on a support, it'll be easier if I chop it. That's a lot of cuttings. I mean, that is a whole lot of cuttings. It was just a couple of pieces I had in here. Obviously, it's a fast grower. How about this? I am going to put this over here with my little piece of my my vining plant, my what is it? Shingling plant. Okay, this is extremely moist, but it's good. It's good. So here, this is what we have right now. While it's like this, I am just going to take my cleaning. This is normally what I use to clean the leaves of my plants, but I'm going to use it. It's just a microfiber glove. I'm going to use it to clean the inside of the terrarium. And I do have diatomaceous earth in this, like I would spray it on top. It's not necessarily in the terrarium. Not that there's anything wrong with it being in there because it doesn't do anything. It's silica. And lots of people put silica into their plant mixtures. I think we have a bird that is trying to build a nest. It seems like it's an unusual season for nest building, but they've been hanging around so much. My greenhouse on this side, I have a hanging basket. It's a wire basket, and I keep seeing the very same two birds there. And I said, oh, please don't have your babies there. Because once they put babies there, you have to leave it. I don't see a nest, but I can't imagine why else they would be. I mean, this is just not the time of year that I would expect that. There's always a bird's nest showing up somewhere. There was one nest that a couple started. I can't remember. I think they were beautiful birds. They weren't robins. What were they? Whatever they were aggressive. And I know robins are aggressive. Blue jays are aggressive too. I know all about them. I think I'm going to take a little bit of perlite and put it right on top of this, just to soak up some of the moisture. I just have to get a mask. Oops. That was more than I expected. When we went to the store, they didn't have the Vigoro. They didn't have the Vigoro. That's my preferred perlite for the small perlite. I prefer the Vigoro, but they just didn't have it. So this is what I have. Okay, now for this. Okay, this one, I don't think, this will not fit in here. This will have to be in a longer tub. Which means I probably should just pot it up. Or should I put it in moss? Which one? Let me see if it'll fit in here. I don't know. Maybe I should just pot it up like this and let it root. Yeah, I think I will. Let me just put some moss in here and a little bit of perlite. Okay. Okay. And that is my glorious. This is a Dieffenbachia that I said I wouldn't put into this basket because I didn't want to touch the Dieffenbachia, because I do have issues with Dieffenbachia. But this one right here fits in here just fine. So we'll put that there. And let me just wash my hands. Okay. Now this is a philodendron white knight or something. It's something. And she's gorgeous. I think this one is another one. This one has some roots. I did cut it, but it does have roots on it. So I'm just going to pot this up. This was something in my greenhouse that when I put it in there, it was like completely dying, and I just didn't want to see it die. So I gave it a good chance, by a fighting chance, by putting it in my greenhouse, and she stayed alive. I'm really excited to see this on my green wall. This is gorgeous, just like that. Oh, you are cute, honey. You are cute. Okay, something else to go. Oh, this is the white wizard, I believe. I may be confusing the two of them, but these were both in the same situation. I put them in there and they just took off. And this one has great aerial roots, but it doesn't have roots like that one. But I am still going to pot it up because they're going to be in sealed containers, so I think they'll be okay. I think these aerial roots will just activate. Oh, that's cute. Now, when I put these into my vertical garden, they will be getting soil mixed in, because this will definitely dry out too quickly, and they will not be in these cups. They will be in larger pots that will hold moisture a little bit better, because outside they dry out so quickly. That's cute. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. There was a little pebble inside the caterpillar. That scared me. Okay. Here is another baby. Now this one right here, this is the, what is the name of this? This is the Golden Goddess philodendron. This was a piece, an offshoot that grew. And so I decided I wasn't going to cut this one because I already have two of these. But then when I saw that it had this offshoot, I just decided I would cut it in. I think this beautiful color will look fabulous on my vertical garden, in my vertical garden. I'm sorry, I have to keep going down here because I don't have enough room on my counter anymore for my soil. And again, this had amazing roots. So I think this will be great. Okay, now this is the top cut of the Splendid. No, the Glorious. The Glorious. Okay, is that soil? Yes, it's soil. But I still have to wash you off. This is the top cut of the Glorious, and I think, see, I don't want to cut it again because then I have to wait for it to callus over again. Or I could just hold off on watering it. I don't know what I should do. Should I just cut this node and that node? I don't want to take a chance at losing this leaf that's about to open up, but I think I have to. I think I have to. Because this isn't going to fit into anything. Ah, yeah. I wish I thought about that. I cut these early this morning when I got up because I wanted them to callus over before I did anything. Oh, this already has an activated point right there. Which side's up? I just cut this side, so this is the downside. So I'll make that shorter. So I'm just going to I'm going to do those last because they'll have at least a couple minutes. Maybe I should put some cinnamon on it. I must have put my cinnamon downstairs. I have a drawer down here with a lot of my planty things. So, okay, this is another one I should have cut up already because I know I want this to cure a little. And this is from my Monstera Adansonii. And this is one that does not necessarily root up very easily and quickly. But hopefully today she's going to prove me wrong. I'm wondering if I should put her into this terrarium. Maybe this top cut. But I don't want it to be on the substrate. That's the thing. See, but the top of it is all dry because the perlite is dry. So I think this should be okay. Let's see if we put a couple of them in there. These leaves are so big. And I definitely want these for my vertical wall of plants. And then I'll take a couple of them. I really shouldn't put a couple of them into, I don't know if I should put any of them into a pot because I know that it takes forever for them to pot that way, but these are so small. I'll put these wet sticks in here, definitely. But I'll take these two and I'll put them like in here. And I will put them in the propagation bin. So there they are. These are so pretty. Okay, now this is something I feel so badly. I actually forgot these were in there. This plant was dying. There were actually 3 plants here, 3 Aglaonema, and they were dying. So I just took them out of their pots and put them into some water. And there's barely any water in here, but they survived. But not because I did anything for them, maybe because I stopped watering them so much. So I'm just going to take this and pot it up. And I am going to still keep it in the propagation bin because they've got good roots on them, but it was definitely struggling. Because I didn't care for this at all. It was pushed into a corner. I think I just So sad. I need for everything to be surrounded. Boy, am I glad I have this box here. She's cute, huh? Nice and strong. Wow, I have a lot of plants. Okay, next one. This one right here. Oh, wow. I'm going to cut off some of these leaves. The ones that don't look the very best. Oh, that root can go. That's strong. Okay. I think I need to get more cups. Are any of you planning on a garden for this year? I should probably cut that down, shouldn't I? Let me just... That's a little too tall. And I will hold off from watering this for a little bit. I think that was the whole problem with this. It got leggy and I tried to do something else with it. Pretty. I actually want a mixed pot of the Aglaonema. But after it grows out in the garden, then it'll be perfect. Okay. Now this has a little piece of rot on it. Oh, not really rot. It's not rot. It's just like sheaths that need to come off. Oop. I didn't need to do that. I didn't need to do that. Okay, all I have are stumps left, and so I'm going to put them all into one container. It's okay if they're not all the same. I have really been enjoying mixed pots lately. This one has a nice big root. Okay, we'll let that one grow out. I ran out of bin space. Now I'm running out of counter space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 so far. Yay! And we have these little things here. I think I will just put these back in here. Yeah. I'm just going to wash my hands. Need more cups. It's so cold outside today. It is 28 degrees and it is 2 o'clock. My greenhouse has been holding steady for the most part at about during the day 68, and at nighttime it's been holding steady at about 60, 61, between 58 and 61. I'm happy about that. I will show you what I did to insulate my greenhouse. I've already started recording it, but when I had that whole pot fiasco fall, that's when it ended. But I do have to go out there after this and water the plants because it does get to be very dry in there because it is extremely warm. I do have a water fountain in there, but it still gets pretty, the plants dry out so quickly. Okay, this is that top cut. Hopefully I'll be able to keep that new baby. Do I have another one over there? Okay, here is this wet stick that I think I will just put here. Or should I do that in a container? I'll put it there. Okay, and I had a little alocasia. Okay, this is a little alocasia that rotted. I don't know what it is. I just found it in the greenhouse. I cut off all of the rot, cleaned it off really, really well, sanitized it, and then I let it dry and callus over overnight. So I'm going to put this in here as well. I don't know what type of alocasia it is. I just know that it's an alocasia. Okay, put that in. This is all of the stuff I collected, and I will put this into my compost bin. I actually have a big bag over here, a paper bag, to put into my compost bin. Okay, so now, do you know what I just did? I had this laying on top of a candle. I'm so happy it's so low. That's bad. That's really bad. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm cutting this up into individual nodes. That's what I decided on. I have to think about this. I have to think about what I want to do with this. I'm not going to pot this up right now. I have to think about what I should do. Because if I cut it up and then realize maybe I should have just put it onto a backer board and just let it grow, or maybe I'll put it in the bottom and let it grow up something. I think that sounds even better. Maybe I'll put it back. I'll put it out in the greenhouse and let it grow up the grid that's on the wall. And all I have to do is put a little bit of moss behind the nodes, the rooted parts, so that it stays. I think that's what I'm going to do. I actually have a moss pole that I can put that on. I have a ready-made moss pole that I can put that on. So that's what I will do. I'm not going to cut that up. Oh, I'm so happy I realized that before I started chopping. Okay. Did I do everything? So now we'll put all of our plant babies right in here, and I'm going to put it into my propagation room. Try to have them as far away from the sides as possible. This needs more. Like I feel like I need to top this off. And I didn't label these individually just yet, but I will label these with, I'll go upstairs and I'll print them out because that'll be easier. I will label them with the date that I am potting them up. And I will also put something on there to say that it's for my vertical garden. I'm so excited about that if you can't tell. How many times have I said vertical garden? Beautiful dreamer. Okay. This is definitely not going to fit completely. But I want to pack them in kind of tight because I need to be able to bring this downstairs and I don't want them to just fall over and there will just be substrate everywhere in here. And if these are all packed nice and tight, that will hold the humidity so nicely. Oh, I have a whole side over here. How cute that very silver is. That's so silver. Just finding any place to put them. It's funny because when I do plant chores like this, and I do them with you guys, I can almost hear what some of you will say, and it makes me, and I guess it's almost like when I'm speaking to you about what's going on with them or what's going on with the things I'm watching, I'm thinking about the lovely comments that you guys give. And I know sometimes I'm a little slow with answering, but it's because obviously I like to talk. And so when I'm responding to your comments, I like to take my time and really, if you tell me about a plant that you like, if I don't know the plant, I go and I look it up and I just, start to oogle over it, of course. And then I go. So I just like to take my time to answer my comments because I always appreciate it when you guys take the time out to share a comment with me or with anyone who wants to read it, because the comments have been so beautiful and I just appreciate it so much. And so I like to take my time with my comments and just responding to each one, because I do think that that's my privilege and it's not something owed. So I love that. Look at this cutie. I can't seem to put her down. She is so cute. I hope she's not buried too low. The cocoa chips were moist, but they were not wet. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these just to get some moisture up in here. I think this is still too tall. I think when I put the wrap on this is going to touch the top, and I don't want this to rot. Maybe I'll tilt it to the side. Yes, I'll tilt it to the side like that. Okay, let me go and get my sprayer to spray this. I had to get a new sprayer because I broke my old one. And this does have a little tiny bit of plant food, nothing major, because I'm not giving them nearly as much as I normally would in the growing season, but I do still feed them. And I just have it on the spray nozzle, so nothing is getting drowned. Okay, this looks so good. That looks so good. Look at this yumminess. Plants are so beautiful. I love this. I love this. Okay, can you imagine showing up at someone's house because they decided to just mention the fact that they were thinking about starting in the hobby of plant collecting? Just showing up like, oh, you said you wanted to collect plants. I thought I'd bring you a couple. I know, issues. I love sharing plants. That's such a wonderful thing to do. I love it. Okay, now for the wrap. Okay, so this is the way it's going to go into my propagation space. And the terrarium style plant, I think this one right here is going to go back on my shelf. So those are all the chores that I plan on doing for today. Thank you so very much for helping me through this by being here and being a support for me to be able to get this done. Oh, wow. All of these plants. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about my garden. Please let me know if you plan on doing any type of a garden, a balcony garden, a backyard garden. Oh, I'm so excited to hear what you have planned. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.